Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, attorney Mackenzie Warren Kay joins us. She's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We are delighted to welcome back to the program Mackenzie Warren Kay. She's an attorney with Brownstein Hyatt Farber and Schreck. Pleasure to have you back.
Hi, Sam. My kitchen table's okay, but this is much better.
Yes, nice to see you in person. We were talking about something right before we came on air here, and I want to follow up on this. We were talking about the Zach Conine and Nicole Cannizzaro race for AG, and you made an interesting comment. Would you repeat that and explain it?
The power of being female on the ballot in Nevada is a superpower. I mean, we've seen it in our judicial races. We saw it when Nevada made history, being the first, female majority legislature. The number of women that are holding positions of power is astonishing. And I believe, as a female voter myself, when you step into that voter booth, even if you don't know much about politics, as we know is the reality when a lot of people do cast their ballot, seeing a woman on there's a connection made. I don't know if it's a, subconscious trust factor, but it carries a lot of weight. And I think that's why historically we've seen females perform exceptionally well.
Does it not matter that Zach Conine has been on 2 statewide ballots and won?
I think it matters. I think he has recognized statewide name ID. I think he did a phenomenal job of leveraging that as treasurer throughout COVID. He's popular in the rurals. He's put a lot of time up north. But I think the power of female, whether it's the AG's race or any other, is a real thing.
All right. So how does that play into the governor's race where you have Alexis Hill, the Washoe County chair at this point, running against Aaron Ford, but she's not appearing to gain traction, even though she's spending a ton of time down here. Is that all about the money?
I think it's about the money. I think it has a lot to do with something that you and I know, the phenomenon of two worlds apart, right? We've got Vegas and Reno, and they are two different spheres. And so while she's a commissioner up north, very, very little known about her down here. What's interesting is on AG Ford's recent announcement of pursuing right to work. That's something that Alexis has said for many months, right? It's been on her website. But when the Attorney General says it, now it's gaining traction. Now we're talking about it. I think it has everything to do with the North-South divide and less about her as a candidate or the fact that she is female.
You know, I know that every state has a North-South divide or an East-West divide, but isn't it time we get past this in Nevada?
I think it is. I think it's frustrating, putting on my lobbyist hat for a moment. Sometimes trying to lobby a Southern Nevada legislator versus a Northern one, when those perspectives come in the conversation, it can be frustrating because, to your prompt, we're all in this together. We're one state. Yes, you should vote with your constituency in mind, but ultimately, as a body, they are the Nevada legislature. And so, a vote on film tax, maybe it helps the South a little more, but when you balance the scales, what's right for Nevada? I don't have a dog in the fight in the film tax, but there was a lot of North-South division on that policy in particular, and we should move past it, but we won't, because I think it's sort of ingrained in our fabric and the geographical divide of our two most populous cities.
All right, so let's talk about data centers. Data centers has become a political weapon.
Yep.
And it's stunning to me. The Democrats have just jumped all over this, and it's not accurate. I mean, the information that's coming out, I did an interview with Brad Crowell, who's on the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. He's talking about modular nuclear reactors going onto data center sites. The waste will be contained on those sites until such time in the future as disposal becomes more efficient. The water usage is being utilized much better than it was before, and yet you can't turn around and not hear D's saying no good. And the irony is they're saying this on the platforms run by data centers.
That's right. And I think if you and I were betting people, we would probably see that this issue polls very well. Data center is nameless, it's faceless, it's kind of obscure, but it sounds scary. There's the environmental angle of wasting precious land, wasting precious water. And then there's another layer to this, which I think is probably the most interesting, is what are the data centers powering? AI is huge. All the chat capabilities that more companies are leveraging, that takes an incredible amount of energy to power that. And then this is multi-layered because AI is, permeating our kids' lives, and what's the safety aspect there? Is it a job killer? And so less about data centers from an environmental concern and more about the AI focus of what's underneath and what does our society look like if we enable more AI capabilities.
I wonder if this discussion happened during the Industrial Revolution.
Probably in some sense, not to the extent of information seeping on kids' iPhones and being able to ask advice to ChatGPT that seems to be a little bit limitless. But
okay, so you've got 2 kids now.
I do.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Do you fear for them, or are you excited for them when it comes to AI?
I've seen it as a parent, how it's been a helpful tool to me. So putting myself, in that position, I can see how it will open doors and create advancements for them in their lives and careers. But at some point, what replaces that gut, right? The human heart, that gut feeling, those instincts where you can get some, counsel and advice from your chat robot, but then where does your personal judgment and your ability to reason come in? And I think those are skills that we hope they're learning at school or in non-traditional learning environments of just what it means to be an adult and build resiliency and make decisions. And how our kids learn is just going to be different than how you learned or how I learned. And I have to embrace that.
Are you looking at the social environment for young people right now is that they are now becoming more socially active and interacting, not just on their phones, but actually at the mall and other places that they traditionally used to go
That's right.
and went away from. Does that give you, it gives me hope. I hope it gives you hope.
It does. And again, they're communicating it just looks differently. And I have friends with older children, right? And they're FaceTiming with their their boyfriend or their girlfriend. It's the same thing. I just was on the phone, not the face, but at least there is some interaction. And I think as a policymaker, weighing our technology with protecting our kids is huge, and it's something that we've seen multiple iterations in several sessions. I think it's going to be an important topic for the legislature because it is so layered, and then data centers obviously just pushes that conversation to the forefront in a different way.
I sure hope they bring in experts because we have a citizen legislature in Nevada. And that kind of scares me to think that they will be making rules and regulations based on their personal knowledge rather than bringing in, I wanted Tyler Perry to come in and talk about the film tax credit.
Oh, wow.
Just because nobody knows more about this than him. And
Sure.
he was pulling back in Georgia at the time that this was all going on.
Right.
I hope we can bring in, if there are experts at this point in time, or if we're just still developing that.
There are experts that are available, and I will say, the citizen legislature has its downsides, but there is an amazing collaboration and real synergy between, the lobby and business core that really should arm our policymakers with the experts because, presumably they are experts in their field, and the flow of information, the working groups, I think the rigor of the discussion that's happening at the interim committees in particular, and there was a data center day hosted by Chair Anderson. And so there is a direction to really lean on the business and lobbying core to provide that expertise. It's something that I've always felt in the state. Sure, we always wish that maybe there's a little more opportunity, but I do think we have that good, healthy flow and exchange of information.
My sense is that in the last campaign, that the tech companies realized that Donald Trump was going to win. And so the money flowed to the Republican side.
Right.
My sense is that the data companies are going to know that in the next cycle, the odds are that Democrats, whichever offices, are going to win.
Right.
And the money flows in that direction because I don't think this is helpful.
I think that's right. And I think everyone is sort of hedging their bets right now because we don't know what the makeup of Nevada's elected will look like come November. The Trump factor is huge. What he's doing, what he's up to, how Nevadans and the country feel is going to determine whether we get a purple wave or a blue-ish wave, and then decisions will have to be made, and there will be a reapproach on how to strike up those policy conversations.
Do you think there's a possibility of a 2014 happening again, where people just stay home?
I think low turnout is probably second to Trump's performance is a close second. If I'm a Republican and I'm looking at this race, absolutely. Anytime we don't have a presidential ticket, we don't have, U.S. Senate, and people are feeling very ho-hum about the country, what they're paying at the pump, at, their rent, utilities, you name it, that's real. And it keeps people home, and that could hurt the Republicans.
I think the price of gas is possibly that and the grocery store prices
Sure.
are the number one issues.
Sure, I agree. And is it satisfactory to point to a war? I mean, it should be. It is what's straining. But at the same time, anyone with an ounce of business sense understands that some of it is reactionary, and our citizens are who pays the price for it. And I think that's a really delicate thing to explain to a voter at a door who is feeling incredibly squeezed from every direction.
Yes, and it's been interesting to see more and more people knocking on my door. I think people are out walking more this year
Right.
Than they previously had. And it seems like the money flowing into the primaries is not as great as one might expect because there are some very important races.
Yep.
And yet, I was told months ago, well, there's going to be a lot of outside money coming in, and it doesn't appear that that's the case. Not yet, anyway.
Right. I think the independent expenditures have maybe held their fire, but we know they exist. I think we've seen it in a few mailers. It will come. And I think there's a bit of a trepidation of not wanting to go too far in one direction. If you're a Democrat, I think it's safe to attack Trump because polling, and that's what maybe would resonate. But it's those independent voters, it's those NPs. How do you reach them? How do you articulate that purple streak, that libertarian flair that we see in Nevadans without going too far in one direction?
All right, so that brings me to an interesting point, which is we have this huge independent vote.
Right.
But are they really independents? Are they centrists? Are they Republicans and Democrats that just got caught in the registration of a DMV?
Sure. I think it's probably the latter, just the DMV default, if you will. But at the same time, I think the nonpartisan registration does encapsulate Nevadans quite well because we bounce around on the ballot. We are sometimes sometimes this feels right, that's too far. And I think that's why we saw the phenomenon of, voting for Trump for the first time in 20 years in a presidential elect, and then looking very blue under the tent.
Interesting days. Let's take a break. More with Mackenzie Warren Kay after this timeout.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. Our community is our foundation. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
We're the Peters family, 2 combat veterans, our daughter Elle, and our Liberty Dogs puppy in training, Cooper.
Cooper will grow up to be a life-changing companion to a veteran with visible or invisible challenges.
We're helping Cooper build focus and confidence so he's ready to support his veteran.
And we know he will help bring happiness and independence to his veteran's life.
So join us, become a puppy raiser, and change lives, one puppy at a time.
You'll be rolling with some swag during the $150,000 Spring Bling giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Make it rain with up to $5,000 in cash every week and 20 large in cash guaranteed during the grand finale drawing. We're blinging in your good times at Tamarack Casino.
Reno is full of hard-working, caring people. We're neighbors, business owners, families who need attainable homes, good-paying jobs, and a future we can count on. What we don't need are more big political promises with bigger price tags and politicians who let the latest Washington trends guide their policies. We need no-nonsense leaders with fiscal discipline who are focused on results for Reno families. I'm Kathleen Taylor, and I'm running for mayor to do just that.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Mackenzie Warren Kay. She's an attorney with Brownstein Hyatt Farber and Schreck. So the governor's race. So traditionally, in my mind at least, if a governor, every governor is the education governor. But really in this state, because it's our leading industry, you're the gaming governor, you're the mining governor. And if you go against that, Steve Sisolak would be a good example. Jim Gibbons would be another good example.
Sure.
Re-election is not guaranteed. This race seems much closer.
I think it feels closer. I think should Governor Lombardo win re-elect, second-term governors are different. I think there could be some boldness when it comes to education. I think with the new CCSD superintendent, there's sort of a fresh iteration of a new regime, and with a second-term governor, we could see some changes. Everyone talks about breaking up the school district, but whatever the solution may be, it has to be bold reform, or we will just continue with the complacency of Nevada ranking near last in education. And I think no matter how you slice it, you will get a bolder, bigger idea in a second-term governor, and that may be really, really beneficial for our state.
When you look at the amount of money, $2.25 billion last time around, has it had enough time to work its way through the system before you start throwing lots more money in its direction?
Probably not. And I think that's probably what the most frustrating thing is when you look at the investment and, you know, if you're a parent deciding, you know, what to do with your child, the frustration is so palpable. And again, that's why I think it's going to take something extreme and someone brave enough. Maybe it would have been Governor Sisolak if he would have, you know, nabbed that second term. And so again, irrespective, you know, of who wins, there's a beauty in a second-term governor that can do some bold things. And I think that probably is exciting. But unfortunately, it comes down to affordability and the quality of life that impacts all Nevadans, which is just things feel so out of reach. And I think that's what's going to motivate people and will decide this race. But the mere fact of what's happening, you know, in Washington and the war that is raging and the Trump missteps are counting, and they're adding up quickly if you are on the Republican ticket here, because so much of their success is riding on what's happening nationally.
Joan Ebert, in my opinion, a great choice.
Absolutely.
I'd love to have her on the program. I was trying to write to her via social media, and it turns out that she's not actually on the social media because of the response I got. But we're working to get her on. I have great respect for her, as do so many people. It's a huge challenge, though. And is the answer really breaking up the school district? I know it's the 5th largest school district in the country.
Right.
But there are efficiencies that come along with that.
That's
Do
right.
you want to have 5 fiefdoms now that are duplicative in nature and going to cost way more money? I'm not sure if that's the answer.
I'm not sure either. I think one of the things that excites me as a byproduct of CCSD and just truly cheering for them and wanting to see them do better is hearing the way the superintendent talks about underperforming schools. And, you know, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but my interpretation of her approach is aligned with how we would run a business. If something is not working, we need to fix it. Do we close this location of the business and leverage here? Do we make tough decisions when it comes to hiring and firing? I think the answer to all those questions are yes. And I think she brings a particular expertise, being, you know, someone from the inside and someone that is local grown, that is tethered to the success of this community, but is also willing to approach it more critically and a little more boldly to make some tough business decisions to hopefully help our kids.
Well, and I think that the charter school successes over the last decade or more are really an example
Absolutely.
of the direction we should be going in.
Absolutely. And I think we're seeing, you know, more bipartisanship around the issue. So I'm hopeful, both, you know, with her at the helm and sort of a fresh start, because our kids deserve more. They deserve better. And that has to be the most important project on Nevada's to-do list.
And hopefully she will be there more than 15 minutes.
Yes, that too.
Let's take another break. We'll be right back.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
Mom! It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Mackenzie Warren Kay, the attorney from Brownstein Hyatt Farber and Schreck. District 5, an open seat for the county commission. Oh, District F, I'm sorry. An open seat for the county commission. Boy, this is a fascinating race.
Anytime you can work a stripper pole into the conversation, you know, things get interesting.
That was not my original intent.
Hey, the mailers are spicy. Haiti Kasama, formidable legislator, shrewd businesswoman.
Won't debate though on this program.
All right. Well, and Albert Mack, the Mack family name certainly carries something, and the mudslinging has begun. I think we probably knew that the county commission race is most sought after. Often people refer to it as more powerful than a legislative seat. I tend to agree. So it makes sense, the passion that is being infused in this race. And then you've got former state senator Becky Harris, who probably rolled the dice in a very pivotal year, where independents are resonating that message of, I don't fit in this peg and I'm too round for this one. So maybe it's down the middle, and she'll be on the general ballot in November. I don't think we count her out. If she pulls it off, wow. I think we'll probably see more folks going the independent route to see if it sticks.
Oh, and won't that be fascinating? We're out of time, and I'm so sad about that. Come back soon.
I will. Thank you for having me, Sam.
Always a pleasure, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
2025 is bringing big changes for Nevada businesses. If you have more than 5 employees and have been operating for 3 years or more, you must now comply with new state retirement plan mandates. The Vegas Chamber 401k plan makes it easy, offering a proven, customizable, and cost-effective plan for employers and employees to save with tax advantages. Visit vegaschamber.com to explore options and see how the Vegas Chamber can help you start saving for your future.
At Nevada Urban Indians in Reno, your health is our priority. Our medical clinic welcomes everyone. We accept all insurances, ensuring quality care is within reach. Nevada Urban Indians, your partners in health.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We'll see you on the next broadcast.